Hello, and welcome to the ReT Podcast. I am your usual host, I guess, again, Adaminator. I am joined by Jack.
Hey, what's up?
And we have a special guest again. I would like you to introduce ViolinSR.
Hello, I'm Violin. I'm a Kingdom Hearts speedrunner, primarily run KH1, and I also dabble in some other Kingdom Hearts games like 0.2, Dream Drop Distance, and KH3.
Yeah.
And as of recording, don't you currently hold the world record for PC KH1 Final Mix?
Yes, I have the world record for beginner, standard, and proud any percent, and currently working on getting level 1 world record.
Which is not an easy thing to do.
Am I also right in saying that no one's held all 4 at the same time?
Mist has held all 12 at the same time.
Damn! Okay, never mind then. Oh my god. Oh god.
I guess there's never an end to, speedrunning.
Too late to get this guy in instead. No, I'm kidding.
No.
No, the main reason we wanted to talk to Violin was because turns out he's a big fan of our mod. So it's sort of a mutual sort of...
We just thought it'd be a good idea to have him on, talk about Kingdom Hearts stuff, what he liked about the mod, what he didn't like, just a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah. Tell you what, actually, I do want to start. So, how did you get into speedrunning in the first place?
I believe I was browsing YouTube back in the day. It was 2016, and we had a friend in our apartment complex, actually, and I found out from him what speedrunning was. And back at that time, my favorite game to play was Crash Team Racing. And
God, I love that game.
It's the best car racer of all time. I will say that. It's
certainly up there as one of the best ones, yeah.
So I saw a speedrun of that afterwards on YouTube. It was like GDQ. Actually, let me look it up real quick. I think it was like SGDQ 2013.
Right. Okay. I think I remember seeing. I think I know the video you're actually on about. Yeah, it was just. It was 9 years. Was so insane.
SGDQ 2013.
Right.
And I fell in love with the speedrun. It had so many tricks that I didn't even know were in the game. So I started speedrunning in 2016 with Crash Team Racing, and then I was like, I also love Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is one of my favorite series, and 2.8 was coming out in January the next year. Yeah. So I was like, I'll learn this new game because it looks nice and short, and it'll be fun coming up with strats with people. And a month later, I got into KH1 because it's my favorite game in the series.
I was actually going to ask you at some point, like, which one was your favorite? Why is Kingdom Hearts 1 your favorite?
he's KH1.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Well, why is Kingdom Hearts 1 your favorite out of the series?
Kingdom Hearts 1 is just, to me, it's the most full experience, if that makes sense. Like, every single world in the game is just so immersive, and all the worlds feel so complete.
Like, it sort of takes details and fine-tunes them, so it's not as floaty as the original game, as the newer game. Sorry, I guess. Not even like in terms of combat. I mean, like the overall world design. It makes you.
I understand. I get that.
Want to explore everything, and there's so many cool secrets to find.
Well, because I feel like with especially the first game, they were selecting Disney shows and movies based on how well they'd work as worlds. Mm-hmm. But in later games, I feel like they were let's just include this as a world. Let's just include this.
And then with other games, the worlds feel very empty. There's not really much to go out and explore, but the combat certainly is better.
Yeah.
But I do prefer games where I can explore and take my time, ironically, because I'm a speedrunner.
As clunky of a platformer as Kingdom Hearts 1 is, it is still a platformer, so
I don't think the platforming is clunky. I think
it's not clunky. It's just
not the best.
It's
mean,
it's certainly aged. Yeah, it's very hard to master. It's definitely better in the with higher frame rate. It's not as clunky, but definitely on the PS2 with how the camera was set up, it was really strange.
I remember having to deal with that as a kid. And I gave up pretty quickly until.
How did anyone ever beat this game?
I don't know.
So, do you mostly play the games for the story, or do you go in and think, oh, how would I be able to speedrun this?
No, when I go into a new Kingdom Hearts game, I just want to see what the story is like, and I am a big fan of the Kingdom Hearts gameplay. That's the primary reason I like to play the game, is for the gameplay. But no, the story actually really interests me, and I haven't been this invested ever. After the whole Union Cross finale and Dark Road, I just can't wait for KH4 and Missing Link.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 4. That first trailer looks a lot cleaner than the first.
Took me by surprise. I was just scrolling around on YouTube, and then all of a sudden I see KH4 new trailer. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
what? I click on it, and it's like KH4.
Yeah. Well, no, that Kingdom Hearts 4 first trailer looks a lot cleaner than Kingdom Hearts 3's first gameplay trailer, anyway.
Right.
I mean, well, we won't know until it's out. They could totally just scrap that whole fight. Be like, oh, that's all the trailer.
To be honest,
but yeah, when I'm going into a new Kingdom Hearts game, I don't care if it's a good speedrun or not. I would rather it be a good casual game first, because if I don't enjoy the game casually, I'm not going to enjoy the speedrun. And it happens to be that, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but all the games I do enjoy casually, I also enjoy as a speedrun, as a byproduct. And our community is really good at routing stuff and speeding up the game. So I don't think Square should cater to speedrunners in any way.
Yeah, I think speedrunners just basically spent years learning how to break games to such an extent that developers don't need to cater to that audience.
Exactly.
But I do like it when games do cater to it. Like Celeste is a great example of that, where they did build that game.
It's not a bad thing.
In mind.
Right.
But yeah, I imagine you do have to like Kingdom Hearts to want to speedrun it, because a near 2-hour run, it's you have to tolerate it to some extent.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jack, you wanted to say something? I kept interrupting you.
I was just gonna say, especially with Kingdom Hearts, I feel like they get the gameplay down to a degree, and okay, Nomura, go write the story while they're making gameplay separate. Because that is always one thing.
Any involvement with the game development? He's just the story guy.
I have kind of noticed that there is just kind of gameplay feels very sometimes gameplay feels really fleshed out for certain segments and levels, and then the story will be meh. Biggest thing with that was Hercules in KH3. Gameplay wise, I love that level. All the different little mini bosses.
Yeah.
You're introduced to all the Heartless, and then you have the Titan fight at the end. It's a really cool build up. Why is Sora there? I don't know. He's looking for Hercules, I guess. There is I feel a little bit of a disconnect in some places, but overall I think it benefits, because it just ends up feeling more they focused on both rather than some.
Right.
So in terms of speedrunning, you said you started in 2016, but am I right in saying that you didn't actually start on YouTube doing speedruns, did you? Or Twitch?
I did start on Twitch.
Well, you were doing, as your name suggests, violin covers, weren't you, of songs? Is that
Yeah, I've been making violin covers since late 2013. But I've been on Twitch since 2014. I actually used to primarily stream Call of Duty.
Oh right, okay.
But then I switched over to Crash and then Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you don't strike me as a Call of Duty kind of guy.
That's what everyone says, but I've grown up. I've been playing every Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4.
Yeah. You do sort of feel like the sort of person that would like these sort of colourful sort of games because you genuinely find some enjoyment out of them. Whereas the gritty, like, quote-unquote realism of FIFA and COD, it's like there is that sort of disconnect where only like a certain group of people I feel like would enjoy them.
I'm not really into Call of Duty for the realism per se, more so for the arcade multiplayer gameplay.
Oh, like COD Zombies.
Yeah, but also like just regular multiplayer. I like destroying people in lobbies and calling in kill streaks. I used to be a pub stomper, so.
Oh god!
Like stomping on public lobbies.
Oh no, you were that guy! Oh god!
Right.
I imagine that you kept the microphone off most of the time. Then, because you just wouldn't have. I'm not dealing with children like screaming down the microphone.
To be fair,
best part. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, I love hearing people's reactions, and like back then, it was 2014. I had no idea what I was doing as a streamer, so. The reason I moved away from Call of Duty, like I still play it a lot off stream, but I don't stream it anymore because it's so toxic.
Oh my!
I don't enjoy it. I hate interacting with the community. Just let me play the game in peace.
If you want to do your own thing, like you're gonna get in like such an earful, like, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you using that, dude? And then like when you actually win using that, they're gonna be upset because
yeah.
Well, I'm the same with that. With Overwatch, I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for Overwatch. Wrecking Ball main for my life, but just the moment that I turn that microphone off, you are gambling on whether or not the people on the other side are just as chill or as calm as you, or
right. They're usually
children who have just eaten a giant bag of Skittles.
Yeah.
No, it's Overwatch got really, really toxic, and I can imagine that Call of Duty was pretty bad for it as well. Like I've seen videos online and things like that.
Yeah, and it attracted a lot of trolls to my chat that I just didn't want to deal with.
Yeah, because people would they'd see your gamer tag and they'd look for you on Twitch. Like people do that a lot.
Oh, like stream sniping sort of thing.
Not exactly stream sniping, kind of, but like they do it after the game and like they just talk in the chat and be like, "Oh, that was so awful, that was so horrible. Why'd you do that? And like just ruining everyone's vibe there.
Sounds about right.
Like I've seen that happen.
Oh, so rather than people on Twitch going into
just
the game,
like bringing everyone
people in the
down
game coming
in like
to Twitch.
chat.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I perfectly understandable for you to leave Call of Duty alone. Then.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad that you came to Kingdom Hearts.
So, rolling it back to Kingdom Hearts.
Yep.
Do we want to ask questions, or what do you want to do?
I mean, we can ask some questions. Like we do. I did this with my own team, and we sort of talked about like our history with the series. So, when did you first start playing Kingdom Hearts, if you don't mind me asking?
I started. I want to say when I was like in the 3rd grade. It was 2006 or 2007.
I'm British. I don't know what grade.
I think it was 2007.
Right. Okay. What sort of age are you when you're in grade 3? Just to give me a sort of idea.
Let me think.
Are we talking like 7 or 8?
I think I was 8.
Right. Okay. I've got a ballpark now.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you were quite young when you got into Kingdom Hearts, then.
Right.
So you said 2007. So Kingdom Hearts 2 was out by that point.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 and Chain of Memories was out.
Right. And did you get into either of them after the first game?
I played KH2 after I played KH1. But I tried playing Chain of Memories after beating KH2, and I got stuck on Vection and didn't go past that.
Yeah, no. I guess as a kid, you don't fully understand the card system, whereas people a lot smarter than me have broken that game to shreds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. Okay, so what out of all the Kingdom Hearts games, which would you say is the weakest one in your opinion?
The weakest one for me is Birth by Sleep. And that's just... I really like the story in Birth by Sleep, but I just don't enjoy the core gameplay.
Is that like the...
in a casual perspective.
The gameplay of, like, switching between the characters, or, like...
No, I just feel like the combat feels too clunky and unbalanced.
I agree.
And it just doesn't feel good.
It does feel like some of the attacks, they just don't flow into each other that well.
Right.
Well, because there's so many, and like they're all like bound to that little sidebar area. I agree with that, especially when like playing as Terra and like his dash move where he like barely moves.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, yeah.
I do think the command deck can work well, and I think Recoded did it very well, where every command and every attack can flow into each other seamlessly.
Yeah.
I think that was great.
They're the limit like commands.
Yeah.
Kinda. Yeah, I like that too.
But I don't think Birth by Sleep is a bad game. It's just not. It's just my least favorite, but it's not bad.
Story-wise, it's strong, but you do have to deal with the fact that Terra is a moron.
I like Terra personally. He's my favorite. He's my favorite character of the three.
Adam, did I ever tell you about how I played through Birth by Sleep? I think I did.
I think you... Were you the one that played through the first character and then just thought that was it?
Yes. Yep. I played through as, I believe, Ventus?
Yeah, I think it was Ventus, you said. Yeah.
I played through as Ventus, and I beat it, and I was like, oh, that was awesome. And then just didn't play the other characters.
I would like to clarify, I only have played Terra's story.
Oh my god!
See? Well, now, Adam, you gotta go play Aqua, and then we can all come together and refer to the story.
No, because I've played the whole game. I'm not... I know the stories.
I played it on the PS Vita.
And in all fairness, I will say, of all the characters, Violin, Terra is the worst one to play as. Like, Ventus does feel a lot nicer to play as.
I believe that.
Whereas Terra is supposed to be a little bit harder to move. I think it's generally accepted that Terra's the easiest character to play as, then Aqua, then Ventus, just based on speed.
Mm-hmm.
With Terra being a bit slower, but he does hit harder, so he's a lot nicer to play as for new players. Whereas if you choose Ventus, you know, obviously with him looking very similar to Sora and Roxas, he's going to be more attractive to people who played the other games before.
Yeah, I just thought he was Roxas, and like he had got amnesia and changed his name. They've done that.
No, they have. Have they done that?
Yep, Xehanort. He thought he was Ansem.
No, I thought he was pretending to have amnesia.
Okay, well, either way, still. I
don't know.
Doesn't make it any more easier for my 5-year-old brain at the time.
You're not allowed to be a Kingdom Hearts fan unless you're confused by some aspect of the story.
It's like, he has amnesia, but he was pretending. It's like, oh, okay. Sure. Go with that.
Oh, God.
I love this story so much. It's so convoluted and fun.
I feel like to have a healthy relationship with Kingdom Hearts, there needs to be something in the series that just confuses you.
You have to realize,
if you understand every single part of Kingdom Hearts, you need to touch some grass. Like, seriously.
Exactly.
Well, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go touch some grass.
Okay, well, I mean, every fan, like, I constantly feel like Nomura's always gonna have that, what's this? What's that? Like, right now it's the box, and the master, and what their names are. Like, that's his, like, big, what is that? Because he's had that for every game. The first game, it was like, who's that guy in the cloak? Second game, it's like, who's this guy who looks like Sora? It's like, every game he has, like, a little getcha.
Yeah, something to hook you into the sequel, yeah.
Where you're like, what's that? I need to know what that is now. I've invested too much time and energy into the story to not know what that is.
Yeah. And now that Disney have realized how much of a cash cow Kingdom Hearts really is, like, I feel like they're putting a lot more effort into actually...
Seeing Kingdom Hearts, like, merch at Disneyland and stuff.
Yeah, no, I very rarely ever saw any official Kingdom Hearts merch, and then...
They have a hotel room and, like, a bunch of other stuff.
The hotel room is canon.
The hotel room is canon, the Kingdom Hearts story. Going back, do you want to talk about the mod? Because I've been dying to talk about the Violin.
So, for anyone that doesn't know, obviously with me being the director, I'm the one that made the project and all that, but Jack is the one who made the mod, so he's the one that took all our voices, put it into the game, because why the fuck not?
Should I give a rundown of how that, like, whole process came about? Because it's pretty funny how it, like, actually happened.
Yeah, sure, go on.
We had just finished the first game. We just finished, like, part 7 for the retranslated project. We had all the lines in. We just posted the episode. And I was like, hey, Adam, you said you met someone who was a KH modder. And I was like, oh, I want to talk to them. So I talked to them, and they were, like, teaching me how to do it. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Can you give me the tools? And he just sent me all the tools, told me how to do it, and then just, like, dipped. Yeah. And I was like, oh. And I told Adam, I'm like, hey, Adam, should I just mod the game? He's like,
yeah.
How hard could it be? How hard could it be? 7 months later...
Oh, boy.
I had finished it took me 7 months to do just battle quotes. Just battle quotes. Took me 7 months. And mind you, I was taking breaks, so probably more realistically, like 4 or 5 months of like every day adding in like maybe 1 or 2 characters. Like, it took so much time. Like, it would take roughly an hour and a half to do 1 character.
Because actually, so Violin, I'm not sure if you actually know this, but each time you play a Sora in a different world, it counts as a completely different Sora. So
I think you told me that.
Yeah. So it's how.
So I had to do it for every world individually.
You actually saw that in your run. So you know how you kept spamming cure to get Sora to say stupid.
Yeah, and then one time he said silly.
Yeah, it changed to silly in Hollow Bastion. That's because we could do that. We could have each character just say different things per world.
And the reason behind that is because of companions. So when you heal them, like Sora says their name, and obviously for some worlds he's not going to say some companions' names. So they change the order of everything because they add in a new like word. Like for Destiny Islands, he doesn't say any of the like Destiny Islands is easy because he doesn't have any of his magic, so there's no magic voice lines. It's just items and your attack quotes. So that was really easy to do. But as you go further and further into the game, you get more and more until like you've gotten to a point where you're like Hollow Bastion and you have a decent amount of like battle quotes. Roughly it was 38 lines for just Sora. That I voiced and also like had to put in each time.
Mm-hmm.
And then also party members, and that was a whole deal, and bosses. Surprisingly though, I got through cutscenes way quicker.
Well, that's because you had everything already set.
Well,
up.
yeah, we had all the cutscenes voiced, but I still needed to cut them up so they were timed correctly with the actual game.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically just pushed through, and I was like, hey, I spent 6 months on the battle quotes. It shouldn't have taken that long. I'm gonna do cutscenes real quick. So I just went on a long tangent of doing every cutscene, and every day I would get through a world, which was not an easy thing to do. It took me I just had I don't know, I had a couple of weeks where I wasn't doing anything. I think it was during the summer, so I was just I'm just gonna do this. It's every day I would rush through a world and get it all done. And then before we knew it, the mod was ready to be released, and we were all just okay, let's put it out there.
Yeah,
and then you saw it, and I'm so glad that you enjoyed it, because that was a lot of time and effort from not just me, the whole team, because I needed to ask them for a bunch of stuff, and everyone just kind of delivered. It was such a fun process. Despite how hard and long it was, I wouldn't mind doing it again for KH2. It's just KH2 is a much larger game, so that might take a year or two.
Well, I think
just
we're
for
doing
recording voice lines.
I think we're doing Kingdom Hearts 2 at the same time we're doing the videos. But I actually do want to ask about the mod from your perspective, Violin. So, if I'm not mistaken, you discovered the mod through one of your moderators?
Yeah, through Keyblade Brett.
Right.
Thank you, Brett. We'd talked to Brett a few times, I think.
Brett sent a message into the mod trailer comments.
I remember that.
And he was just asking if he could do a playthrough of it. I said, yeah, sure, not a problem. He did that. And then, did he then tell you about it?
He posted a link to the Nexus mods page, because I have a channel in my Discord called KH Mods, where people can request me to play some mods. Yeah,
I do notice that you do take a break from speedruns to just play through mods and things like that.
Yeah.
Are there any mods aside from the retranslated one that have caught your eye and you may want to talk about here?
I'm a big fan of the boss mods that True Blade Seeker made for Kingdom Hearts 3, Harder, Young Xehanort, and Luxord.
Right, okay.
And I think it's really cool. Oh, and the Data Aqua mod that he made. That completely changes the boss's AI, and I love learning them from scratch again and figuring out what to do.
Yeah. So,
as well as the Olympus... The Olympus mod for KH3 is also phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that one, because there's no arena in Kingdom Hearts 3, is there? So someone thought, let's just make one themselves.
Yeah, that was really... that's a whole nother level.
Yeah, it feels so official.
Yeah, it looks really good. I'm just so sad that I don't have Kingdom Hearts 3 on PC.
Yeah.
I'm a PS4 noob.
I will say though, KH3, KH2 modders are on another level.
Oh, gotcha.
In all retrospect, I don't know anything about modding. I just figured out how to do audio, and I was like, screw it, I'll just do all of it. And then I somehow figured textures along the way, and then I was able to change pre-existing stuff, which is not too hard.
Yeah.
But these people are adding stuff, which is a whole different thing. That takes so much extra dedication,
right?
That I can't even imagine. Because I tried learning, because someone was going to teach me it, and I was like, I can't do this. It's a whole nother level of learning it and executing it. I have nothing but praise for people who do that.
Oh, absolutely. Those sort of mods, they just add completely different new movesets into games that never had them in the first place.
Yeah, I've seen mods that like literally overhaul the game and make it unrecognizable. Like it's a whole different game now.
Yeah,
it's just using the engine.
And then you got the whole thing with the Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer mod, which that blew up so fast. Like, I think every Kingdom Hearts Twitch streamer's done that. If I'm not mistaken, you've done that as well, haven't you?
Right. Actually, I actually made the randomizer server.
Oh, did you?
Really?
Yeah.
Right, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was there from the very beginning, and now we have over 10,000 members in the server.
Jesus Christ. Is it like people who, like, they put their own seeds in, it's like, oh, this is a really interesting seed, that sort of thing?
Yeah, it's a good place to have, like, open discussion about Kingdom Hearts, for developers of the randomizer to talk to each other, for people to race each other, and we also host plenty of tournaments as well, and obviously let people know if something's been updated and help with like tech support and whatnot.
Yeah. To be fair, I'll be sure to link. I'll put a link to their Discord in the comments then, because that is probably one of the biggest communities out there. Is it the same community that worked on the Kingdom Hearts 1 randomizer as well? Because that's fairly
No. The
different?
KH1 rando is mostly a solo project by Detonator.
Right, okay.
Yeah. KH2 rando was originally made by Velexer and Sonic Shadow Silver 2.
Right.
But we've gotten a lot more people working on that now.
Yeah. And
the KH1 rando has been mostly solo. Just Deno working on scripts.
I also know that people, like when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, people worked very, very quick to mod that to have a randomizer.
Yeah. Yeah, KH3 rando is made by Critic Perfect and Water KH, and it's pretty cool.
Have you had any interesting moments doing randos?
My favorite moment is always like, it's always when I'm like, I really need this thing, and then the very next chest I open has that thing I was just talking about. It's just speaking it into existence. That's
like the
best
Yu-Gi-Oh effect.
Pretty much,
the heart of the cards.
Yeah.
I can imagine that's quite a good feeling. Yeah. Have you had any like bad experiences, like bosses and those sort of things?
Bosses,
like bosses not spawning in properly, because I know that like people initially started the Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer with the Ground Shaker being in the mix.
Yeah.
But with the Ground Shaker being so big, it breaks most maps.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Storm Rider would break the game. Hydra would break the game.
Oh god.
But the boss rando right now is extremely stable, so I'm happy to see it improve. Yeah.
Does it mostly work with like character fights, so things like the Organization and Pete and those sort of characters?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what bosses don't get.
I imagine it's the sort of bosses that interact with the actual scenery.
You'd be surprised. There's the one boss in Beast Castle that like hangs around the chandelier.
Yep.
Oh,
but they found. Yeah, but they found out how to move the chandelier to other areas. so now that works in other arenas.
Oh, that's great.
Pretty cool. Yeah. I think it's just like Twilight Thorn can't really be moved because only Roxas can use that reaction command.
Right, okay.
So a lot of the simulated Twilight Town fights are still the same, but the rest can be changed around for the most part.
I know their enemies can randomize as well, but they're locked. Am I right in saying that, like, if let's say a shadow randomizes into an air pirate, all shadows that ever spawn become air pirates? Or is it completely random?
Yeah, you could set it to that setting, but there's a bunch of different settings you can use. You can have it like 100% random, where every fight is just a completely different group of Heartless.
Right.
So you can have it be more varied if you want to.
We're probably gonna have like a randomizer video on our channel now. Just
Ooh, we should because the KH1 randomizer. What is it like? Isn't it only with like some enemies in some areas?
So the way it works in KH1 Rando is every room has its own group of enemies. Mm-hmm. So like, for example, when you first enter Traverse Town, there's a bunch of shadows there before you fight Leon. So one room will have Dark Balls, for example. The next room will have only Invisibles, and so on.
Oh, so it'll
be only one of the same enemy.
Okay, because I'm assuming it doesn't do bosses yet.
It does.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, I've had some wild experiences with boss rando.
Yeah,
I had to fight Unknown in place of Chernobog.
Unknown in place of Chernobog. Oh God!
And
that arena is horrible to fight him in. But I did it. I managed to do
it. Adam, I'd love to like get together and do a rando, but with the mod on.
With the re-team mod. Oh my! We
just have random like characters show up and just spout their nonsense.
Well, as we found with Violin's stream of the re-team mod was that it doesn't quite work with everything. There was a whole thing about like the gummy ship skip going to End of the World or something. Oh no, Holobastion, sorry.
I don't know what that was all about.
So for anyone that doesn't know, if you on the second trip to Holobastion, going through the gummy ship through the back entrance, you can skip the gummy mission about halfway through and you'll have access to Holobastion. For some reason, with the re-team mod mixed with the Save Anywhere mod, was it? Or is it called something else?
Was it the Instant Gummy mod?
No. It was you could save anywhere or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Save Anywhere mod.
It is literally just called that. Yeah. For some reason, when those two mods played with each other, like that broke that sequence.
So, they patched the game. We just worked together.
Oh. Interesting.
We fixed the game.
No, we have no idea what happened there. So. We recommend the re-team mod should be fairly stable because it is mostly just an audio mod.
Yeah. I go with that.
We might change it to audio only. Like we may change some of the textures back to normal just to have that audio mod on its own.
Well, I've greatly optimized the mod because it used to be. When I first did it, I had no clue how to actually like properly like set the files. So, when the mod was first released, it would actually like literally just replace the entirety of your cage, like basically with the version that I had, which had all the mod files. And I found a way to like cut it down so it would just replace the stuff that the mod needed.
Right.
Which I mean works a lot better. But I think a few like. Maybe 2 or 3 people somewhere out there have a version that just replaced their entire Cage 1 with mine, basically. So I'm sorry for that.
I'm right in saying
it wouldn't replace save files. It wouldn't replace save.
Didn't you also break the game by naughting Kyrie's grandmother?
Yes. This is during development. I was going to do a joke. I was gonna be like, hey, what if I changed Kyrie's grandma's model and Norded Kyrie's grandma? So I went in, I edited the texture so that Kyrie's grandma's eyes would be yellow, and whenever I would try to load that cutscene, the game would freeze on Sora. You know how like before the cutscene happens, he's like flying around in the stars. Right. It would just stay on that. It wouldn't like I wouldn't be able to close it. I wouldn't be able to pause. It would just be Sora like it wouldn't be frozen. It would just be a loop of Sora flying through the stars. And I was so confused. I got it to work once, and I saw Kyrie's grandma's eyes yellow for like a split second, and then like the game just crashed.
Wow.
So obviously it worked, but then it would just like it wouldn't work. Like it clearly understood what the file was, but it didn't. It just never worked. So I just had to change it back, and then it fixed it. So I have no clue what that was about. There's a few things in there that are just like little things that I changed. Like some of the cave paintings in Destiny Islands. Like I changed some of those.
Yeah. We tried to add a QR code to one of those cave paintings.
To the first episode of
QR code for the first
we tried to hide
episode.
a QR code. Sadly, Cage Kingdom Hearts is so low quality that like we had to make it pretty decently big, and at that point it's like, why?
Yeah. No, we had to make the QR code tiny, didn't we? Because
we did get to make
it just stretched it out so much.
I'm glad the custom dive to heart worked so well though. That worked on first try, which I was so happy about. It was so much fun to make. I just made it in Photoshop. We were gonna get like an actual artist to do it, and I was just like, well, this is temporary. And everyone just liked it, so we were like, let's keep it.
Can I ask, Violin, was there anything about the mod that you particularly enjoyed?
What didn't I enjoy?
Any lines? any lines that were your favorite? Any like voices?
Okay. Let me just list them off the top of my head. There's one person.
Yeah, classic.
There's good guy. She started to smoke again. That just cracked me up.
Oh yeah,
I love that one too.
Yeah.
Start to smoke again.
There's he's nasty.
Oh yeah, right at the end. I think my personal favorite is near there as well, as when Riku's supposed to take care of her. It changed to take care of Hercules.
Take care of Hercules. Yeah.
It's like,
that was great.
Oh,
and then also, I am Mushi.
That was very last second. That was like one of the last lines we added in. That was actually me. We didn't know who was gonna be Mushu, and I was just bored. I was like, we need to change the summon lines.
Well, yeah, because I think we were gonna get Casa to voice him
but Casa we were waiting on Casa to do the genie lines already, and like I put temporary lines in for the genie, and so I was like, I'll put temporary lines in for Mushu as well, and then so I just put it through the translator real quick, and I'm like, I am Mushi.
I actually need to explain something to you, Violin, because do you remember when I was in your chat and we were talking, like playing a game? And then you got to the Leon fight, and I typed in the chat, it's like, lose to Leon.
Yeah.
And you were so confused as to why you told me that. Do you know why I asked you that?
Because the winning cutscene is the default one? Like,
so
it's not the default one.
No, the default one is the losing cutscene. However, the winning cutscene, there were a couple of lines in there that aren't in the winning cutscene.
They're different, because the losing cutscene is canon, so that's what we recorded for the video. So we already had the lines recorded for that. But for the winning cutscene, we didn't have some of the lines recorded. So I literally just went into text to speech and just typed in what the translations would be, so I had them like on file, and I just had the text to speech versions of them in the game.
Well, no, the way you did it was Yuffie speaks in text to speech, and then you just the worst impression of Leon.
It wasn't even a Leon impression. I'm like, I went through her comfortably. I was like, I talked like
obviously Marcus had the great voices of like, it was like really, really deep.
Well, I wasn't gonna do an impression. He's like,
and you just went, he went to the town, like I asked. What?
No, I asked Marcus to record it. He did record it. That's the funny thing, is he did record it. I just haven't added it in. I've just been so late. I just haven't. Yeah. Look, I literally have it right here.
It's fine.
I think it's funny because like here. He sent it to me 2 months ago. And I've just like never added it in.
I think it was also the same with Kosa's Waka lines. Like he recorded the first cutscene, but he didn't record the second. So you just kept it. You kept him saying, "Hey, what's happening?"
That one was fixed though. That one's fixed though. That one I actually did fix.
You did fix that one.
Sure.
Yeah, I remember that one being different. Actually.
Yeah. So it was originally. Hey, what's going on, guy? Hey, what's going on, guy? Hey, what's going on, guy? It was just that looped over and over and over because he didn't have the rest of them recorded. I eventually got him to record them, but like, it was pretty funny because in like an early version of the build, it would just be, "Hey, what's going on, guy?"
Yeah.
Like for like 3 minutes.
I did
That's
notice
hilarious.
that you were a big fan of the Donald Duck voice.
Oh, it was so good.
It adds like so much extra. I don't know.
I think it's actually your chap that coined the term the Gigaduck, which we've
Chad Donald.
Giga Chad Donald, which we've now changed the Gigaduck, and that's basically just how we refer to him now.
That's great.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you've had...
I don't know if we'll ever change. Like we've met people who can do like actual really good Donald the Duck impressions now, and we're like, let's just keep Casa.
Yeah, no, like, we actually had.
Don't fix his throat.
I think it was episode 9. We had KH Guides on for a podcast, and we got him to read some of the lines on there. So if you want to go and check out that, go to the end of that episode.
I need to check that out.
But
I need to check that out too.
I need to hear Donald say these lines like a normal person.
We just gave him some of the worst lines that Donald says.
Well, you know, for everyone. No, I just think it's so funny because he actually adds something to it. Because there's a scene where in Hollow Bastion when Ansem's talking and then Donald's talking right back, and like you can clearly tell like he is doing a different tone. But it's the same exact voice, and I love it. Like he makes him feel different though, and it Cost is super talented. Like I'm so glad he's on the project.
Yeah,
so much fun to work with.
Yeah. We'll have to try and get Violin to do a voice at some point.
Yeah, you could be like
oh hell yeah,
the one like an announcer, like a character who just shows up.
Well, what we actually I'll actually officially announce this now because I've not said anything publicly, but we're gonna finish Chain of Memories as per normal, and then when we come to Kingdom Hearts 2, we do want to bring in some Kingdom Hearts content creators to voice not some of the major characters, but some of the smaller characters. So things like Setzer and Cypher. Rajan and Fu, I think the name is. You know, those sort of characters that don't. Those sort of voices that can fit into one episode, and they don't really need to come back if they don't want to. So, you know, if we ever want you to, like, maybe we'll get you to voice one of the. Oh God!
I can be the computer that's like. Restoration at 95%.
That'd be awesome.
That is certainly an idea.
have we talked about like who's playing who in the next, or like
As of recording this episode now, I've cast everyone so far. I actually cast myself as the Restoration voice because well, it's still in the works. I will say that just because
we'd love to have you on though. Like it's so much fun to just bring on others.
I would love to be.
Yeah, I've taken a bit of a step back due to my work commitments right now. I I still plan on working on Chain of Memories Part 4 and 5, which is Riku's story. But our other editor, Dizzle, she's going to be working on Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yep.
She's currently working on...
Dizzle's very good.
Which we're trying...
Dizzle's made some
we've actually managed to condense 2 hours of Roxas story into an hour. Because there's just so much dead air.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a lot faster. You know, we're still going to have all the quotes in there.
And someone else will actually be taking over for Sora for Cage 2.
Oh,
which will be very interesting.
Jack's not going to be Sora for Kingdom Hearts 2.
I am... Can I say here? I can say here. I think we've said this before. Yeah. I'm gonna be playing Roxas at the very start, and like it's gonna kind of be a trade-off where like ending Chain of Memories as Sora, starting Cage 2 as Roxas, and then someone else takes off as Sora.
Are you gonna be flashback Sora though?
Yes, I think. As long as it's like little kid Sora. We'll see. So, for the moment, as far as we know, like, it won't be Dream Drop, because that's still, like, technically older Sora. But...
So, when you say flashback Sora, what do you mean flashback Sora? Do you mean, like, the...
When Roxas has the flashbacks to Sora's...
I'm also going to announce this. To save time, we cut all those.
No!
We had to, because it was all stuff from Kingdom Hearts 1.
We can make...
you could just reuse... You can reuse the KH1 retranslated lines, right?
We've come up with a compromise. We've come up with a compromise for the episode. We needed to condense it down into an hour because they just announced that March Caprice is going into its 3rd year. We only have an hour time slot. So we want to try and get all of Rox's story into 1 hour. So we've come up with a compromise. We've cut out all the Sora flashback stuff, and we're doing something a little bit more interesting with it. But it saves a lot more time. We're basically doing what you do. We're speedrunning Rox's story, but with a video. You know, you've got to save the frames.
That's true.
Makes sense.
I think it'll be a lot of fun to like step back from being a lead, because every single episode so far, except for the ones we're currently doing in Chain, I've had like, I think if not the most, some of like the most in almost every episode. Yeah. Like everyone else sends in their lines, it's like, 2-3 minutes. And then like me out here posting like 7 minutes of nonstop me talking, 14 minutes of like nonstop audio.
I think your last recording was just over 15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
15 minutes of a 30-minute episode.
Yeah, that's half of that time is me talking. No, and I think I killed it. Like, that was some of my best, like, because it's a lot of it's just him monologuing about, like, friendship. We're a person. Awesome. And for the most part, it stayed the same except for one line that I love where he just goes, he's like talking to Naminé, and he's pretty, like, on board, like, okay, he's saying all this stuff about friendship, and at the very end he just goes, "This is sausage." It's like, where'd that come from?
It's not this is sausage to me.
This is sausage to me, not just in general, to me.
It's
even better.
Specifically to Sora, this is a sausage. Anyway, so we're about to go into the outro right now. One thing I do want to talk about just before I start playing the outro music, Violin, is RPG Limit Break, which you attended and did not only a fantastic run of Kingdom Hearts 1, but an insane blindfolded fight with Yozora, which, I'm sorry, you were just showing off. You let Yozora steal the keyboard.
I was.
So, context for everyone. Like, so, Violin did... What was it? It was Yozora, level 1, all pro codes, blindfolded?
Yep. Kingdom Key only.
Just... Why would you do this?
I could not. I'm telling you already, I don't have the patience, skill, or time.
It's the fact that you equipped yourself with a Kupo coin, even though you can't use items, specifically so that Yuzora could steal it from you.
Yep.
It's like, and you did it first time. Was it first attempt, or did you die? I think you died like 10
My
seconds
first
in.
death. My first death was actually on purpose to show off how easy it is to die.
Oh, really? Was it?
Yeah.
Fair enough, because if we ignore that, then it was still first attempt.
It was first try. Yeah.
and that like that in itself is insane, just because it ended I think it was the final thing that they showed off the event.
Mm-hmm.
But the highlight for us was the little bit before that, where you did the Oathkeeper cutscene glitch with our mod, which
the audience loved that.
The audience loved that. Can I actually ask about that? So, for context, Violin came into my Discord DM and basically said, "Oh, I'm at RPG Limit Break at some point in the future. I've asked the guys who organise the event if I can use your mod for the event," and they said, "Yeah." And then I'm like, wait, what? I just like, can I not ask for permission? Like, you just did it. So can I ask, why did you choose to do that for us?
Because I love the mod and I wanted to get more attention. Honestly.
I mean, thank you so much. Because I mean, when we really started out the channel, we were just kind of making it as for us.
Yeah.
Like, it was more so just like, oh, let's get all this Kingdom Hearts pent up. Like, I want to voice this character. I want to do this thing. I want to get through this game. For a lot of us, it was a way to just like re-experience the games. And I'm just like so glad that like something that we did as like a passion project is like is just liked by a bunch of other people too. Like it's nice to see.
Can I ask, what was the energy like in the room when that cutscene started playing?
There was a lot of laughter, for sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You can hear it in the VOD too.
Can you?
For those who haven't seen it.
How, did the people behind you, how much did they know about that? Because I know that one of them asked you to hear Goofy. Yeah,
so Pestilus, he's the Birth by Sleep Runner. We actually played it in front of him in the practice room, so we can see what it's like. But I actually hid it from Etchy and J Hobbs. I didn't tell them what was going to happen.
So literally the only people in that room who knew you were going to do that were yourself and
Pestilus and Puexel, who's running the event.
So he was the
organizer. Or he's one of the staff.
Right.
Yeah.
God. That's so insane. I just love that a stupid passion project has just reached so many people and, you know, has inspired like yourself just to have fun with the game again. I can't go back to normal Kingdom Hearts 1 now, but thanks to my stupid project. I can't listen to Donald. I listen to Donald's stupid voice. I'm thinking like, no, he needs to sound like Gigaduck.
No, Adam, it's actually gotten to a point where I actually got recognized for this project.
Really?
A few people are. A few people of the team are getting recognized. Like Wendy just joined a project where they were talking about the retranslated. Yeah, I'm gonna start playing the outro music at this point.
That's,
I don't really know what sort of like. I already clued Violin on this, but we named the episode within the episode. I have no idea where we can go with this. Maybe podcast any %.
Podcast any %.
I like that.
Pretty good.
Do you have any suggestions yourselves, guys?
No, I like podcast any %.
You have to put the amount of time it took us to finish the episode.
Put the timestamp.
I've got to put the timestamp in the. Okay, sure.
Yeah, podcast any % in 1 hour.
WR world record. Sounds good, guys. Oh, we've literally just hit an hour there. All right, so let's save some more frames. We'll end the episode here. Thank you so much for joining us, Violin. It was a little awkward in places, I'm not gonna lie, because I didn't know what to talk about, but
hey, I had fun, so thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I mean, we had fun as well. So thank you, Jack. Thank you, Violin. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you around. Take care, people.
See ya.
Bye.